Have you ever sat at a crowded dinner table, surrounded by people who love you, and felt completely alone? It is a heavy, confusing feeling. You look around, do the math, and wonder why the presence of all these people isn't registering in your brain. There is a distinct difference between isolation and loneliness. Isolation is objective, the physical absence of other people. Loneliness is subjective, an internal state of emotional disconnection, regardless of how many bodies are in the room with you. When Dr. Vivek Murthy served as the 19th Surgeon General of the United States, he traveled the country investigating public health crises like the opioid epidemic and rising obesity rates. He discovered a quiet through line connecting these disparate issues, a pervasive epidemic of loneliness. Through his research, Dr. Murthy mapped human social needs into a framework called the 3 dimensions of connection. We require intimate connections, relational connections, and collective connections. You can have a loving marriage, fulfilling intimate needs, but if you have 0 close friends or no community group, you'll still experience a profound sense of isolation. The experience of being lonely in a crowd reflects a structural imbalance in a social ecosystem. It is the result of specific social needs going unmet, even as others are satisfied. This imbalance carries a severe biological cost. When the human body senses emotional disconnection, it registers the experience as a physical threat, triggering stress responses that lead to long-term damage. According to a massive meta-analysis, the risk of early death from chronic loneliness equals smoking 15 cigarettes a day. This biological alert degrades the body, elevating cardiovascular disease risk, accelerating dementia, and driving up CRP, a key blood marker for chronic immune inflammation. This biological stress shifts the brain into a state of hypervigilance. We instinctively scan for threats rather than commonalities, eroding the trust required to hear another person's perspective. Without that trust, dialogue collapses into the reactive anger seen in our polarized public spaces. Relationship is the biological prerequisite for dialogue. Chronic loneliness fractures our communities, making it difficult to find the common ground needed to solve collective problems. Curious, slightly slower pace. We are currently the most hyper-connected generation in human history, so why are we starving for genuine contact? Often, it comes down to how we show up. If you walk into a room trying to perform a persona to gain validation, you physically drain your own emotional energy. You leave the interaction exhausted because you are seeking approval rather than authentic connection. For many, this defensive posture is a learned survival tactic. Early experiences of rejection rewrite our psychological wiring to believe that vulnerability is dangerous. We keep our guard up because we have stopped expecting anyone to show up for us. You can spot this defense mechanism in conversation. People will often freely share their history, the struggles they faced 5 years ago, because that version of themselves has already been survived. Sharing their present tense reality, what they actually feel right now, is a risk they avoid taking. Our digital habits exploit this fear. Scrolling through social media provides the illusion of intimacy without requiring any vulnerability. It delivers the sensation of knowing someone, but with 0 emotional caloric value. We rely on this junk food connection to mask the fear of being truly seen. As a result, we find ourselves malnourished at an all-you-can-eat social buffet. Rebuilding a healthy ecosystem of connection starts with yourself. We have to prioritize our state of being over our constant habit of doing. Taking time for mindfulness or grounding, even just a few minutes of quiet breathing, anchors your self-worth. When you enter a social space feeling secure, you can drop the performance and actually listen to the person in front of you. From that grounded place, you can shift the way you talk. Instead of asking closed questions like, "How was your day?" try an open-ended present tense prompt. Ask, "How do you feel about that?" Or "What are you hoping for this week?" You don't need to overhaul your entire social life. Focus on cultivating a Fab Five inner circle of people you genuinely trust. Tending to a few deep roots is far more nourishing than spreading yourself thin across dozens of acquaintances. The first step can be incredibly small. It might just be sending a single, simple text message to someone you haven't spoken to in a while, letting them know they are on your mind. To rebuild the collective dimension, look for collaborative projects or volunteer opportunities. Working alongside others toward a common goal naturally connects you with people who share your values, moving beyond just geographic proximity. Loneliness acts as an ancient biological alarm system. It is a signal from the body, indicating that a vital connection has been neglected. This ache is a reminder that you belong to a tribe. It only takes one moment of vulnerable courage to crack the door open, step through the threshold, and find them.